Perfect. So I'm excited to have you guys here. So welcome to another episode of my podcast, Investing in the USA. We have today a great episode, actually, because this is actually the first time that I'm going to have two people at the same time in my podcast. So, and it's also two people that I have interviewed before. So Michelle Sinclair, of course, we know her, CEO, mega CEO of Interapp. They do valves here in Houston. And we also have Pastor Thomas Avant. And we've also done a conversation with him before, if you recall. So now I decided to mix it up and actually have been both to talk about, what they do, because they, believe it or not, they know each other and they have worked together before, and they are working on something special that I want to bring to you guys as well. So let me go ahead and kick it off. So Michelle, why don't you introduce yourself? Even though people know you, but I wanted you to introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me again. Michelle Sinclair. I'm in Katy, Texas, CEO of Interapp North America. But we like to do a lot of things. We like to work and we like to play and we like to give. So I'm excited to be here today to introduce and to help Pastor Thomas with a project, which he will explain. But this is super exciting for me, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Great. So Pastor Thomas, so tell us about yourself a little bit. So introduce yourself.
All right. I'm Thomas Avant. I live in DeRidder, Louisiana. I was a teacher for 39 years, and that was not a job, it was a ministry, is that my wife and I both felt like we were ministering to our kids and helped them a lot. And that's why I've decided to, we both decided to make a home that we could help.
Hold on. I don't want you to get ahead of yourself, because I wanted to tell the story when we get to that part. But,
okay.
But don't peek. Don't get ahead of yourself, Pastor. I know you're excited to tell us about the story about the girls, but yes. So tell us a story about, you started you wanted to build a home for girls. Tell us about that story, because I know some people have heard it, but some people haven't. So, and it's a powerful story. So how did that come about? Tell us that story.
Okay. As a teacher, I helped kids a lot, troubled kids that had a lot of problems. And a lot of times they would get into treatment, and when their insurance was out, they would get kicked out. And I wanted to be able to help them whether they had insurance or not. And so I decided, along with my wife, that we should attempt to have a home that we could treat these young ladies. We wanted to do both, but we were informed that if we did both, we'd have to buy property somewhere else and have either boys or girls over there. And of course, I couldn't afford to buy any more property. So we just chose girls to treat in a home here.
Okay. No, that's really good. I understand now what you chose, girls and not girls and boys. Michelle, so I wanted to ask you something else, because I know that you're related or you're involved, right, with this mission that Pastor Thomas has. But I wanted to ask you, so what brought you, what is it about this mission that brought you into the project? I mean, what was it that attracted you to this project?
I actually met him. He's a pastor, and I actually met him at a funeral. My mother-in-law's sister had passed away. And just in talking, after it's over awkwardly at funerals, you know how it is. He started telling me, I said, what do you do? And he started telling me about this girl's home and providing a home for trafficked girls was his vision and what God has given him to do while he's on this planet. And it grabbed me because I saw a movie about trafficked girls and kids, not just girls, both. And the trauma and the absolute panic I cannot imagine it being my child.
Mm.
And if it were my child, what would I do? Right. And so it's always somewhere else, somebody else, some other place. But sometimes it might be you. So I was thinking, wow, I've never heard anyone say, I didn't know a lot about trafficking. I've heard it obviously on the news, but really in the details, I had no idea. He started explaining his heart to me and really saying, hey, I really want to do this. I think, we can only have 10. But it's reaching out and grabbing someone who is desperately panicking, traumatized by no fault of their own, and doing something about it. What is the option to not do that? Is to have a whole generation ruined. There's so many trafficked people in this world, but we can't help them all. But can we help 10? Could we help 20? And if we did that, it's absolutely a complete trajectory change in their life where they would probably abuse someone or start doing drugs or they think their life is not valuable because they've been trampled, right? And I've come from some of trauma in my past, and I know what it's like to not have anyone, no one. And you just want someone to rescue you so bad. And when he mentioned it, my heart fell out of my body. And I was like, I need to do something. Can I do it all? No. But can God help me to get other people to help and everybody come together? It's not about me. It's about these girls. And how can we collectively as a society take responsibility for the pain that these girls and boys, but in this case, girls would be exposed to? And how can we do something? I think we can. And he's a pastor. He counsels every day. He works at another girl's home. But there's only 10. You can only have 10 in a bed per state or in the house per state. So he does it now, and there's not enough beds for all of them. There's so many. And he's done some great things.
I love that you're actually taking action. A lot of people just feel sorry. A lot of people see the documentary on TV and they're like, oh, that's so bad. But they don't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Which is normal. If you don't know what to do, you just basically feel bad for them. You feel like awful for 5 minutes, and then you're on with your life. But not these girls, not these people, not these children. They are actually in the middle of this crazy world for them. It's not crazy for you or me, but it is just crazy for them. So I'm just gonna point that out and actually put the spotlight on you, because not many people actually take action, and you're taking action just by.
Well, I didn't know how. Honestly,
that's
I didn't
what I mean.
know how.
Sometimes you don't know how, but it's like you let God, guide yourself and say, here it is. This is the path. This is the way. Maybe you suffered something, some trauma, as you said, when you were little as well. It doesn't have to relate exactly to this situation, but you relate to feeling bad and being hopeless and, thinking that nobody was out there to help you. Now you want to be that person that helps these girls in this case. And that's commendable. And so I wanted to also talk about that too, like leadership and integrity, like, those points, So you've said before that you believe in one person everywhere. So what does that mean to you in leadership and in life?
Well, in leadership, without an ego, it's servanthood. If you want to be a great leader, you serve. That's even biblical advice. And Jesus did that. He served. He was the biggest leader I could imagine. So something needs to get done, you get it done. Whether it's your job or not, it doesn't matter. I think confidence in someone having your back, it's very important in leadership. And really just taking the leadership of trying to help him. This is his thing, it's not my daily job, But if there's some way that I can get the word out to help him with this, it would be such an accomplishment. And he has the people, he has the plans, he has the land. All we need now is $1.5 million to build the building and pay for the whole first year. And then after that, I think it's around $375 a year that we would have to, make sure we had donations for. That's not a lot of money.
Sure.
And where I am today, that's nothing. You make that on a small project. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's relative to what you know. So knowing someone that can help, and we know there's a lot of ministries for this, but they can't touch the numbers that there are out there. So,
that's why it's so
having integrity, being one person all the time, the same person I am at church is the same person I am at home, is the same person I am at work. And my heart being single-minded and wholehearted about everything I do. Single-minded first, because that's difficult in this world. But single-minded, I know what I want, and I'm going to keep going until we get it. Same with this girl's home. I don't know how it's going to happen, but we're going to reach out, and we're going to keep reaching out until it's done. There is no option to fail.
Great. No, I love that. I love that. And Pastor, let me ask you, kind of in the same realm. So how do you continue leading? Because you are a pastor, so you lead other people too. It's not only these girls, right? So how do you continue leading when the emotional weight is of actually helping these broken people is so heavy? How do you continue doing that?
Well, something I wanted to, something that jogged my mind, what Michelle said. I too, when I was a teenager, needed desperately to talk to someone, to have someone to talk to, and there was no one. And so I wanted to always be that person that the kids could talk to. And that's why I was always interested in helping them and letting them know that although I was a teacher, I was also for them in their home, whatever they needed, I was there for them. And so I think God is the one that can get me through it, because it's really heartbreaking to deal with these kids who have been, abused since they were very small children, like 3, 4, and 5 years old. They didn't choose to be in this condition. They were forced into it at a very young age, and so I pray for each and every one of them every day, and of course I have to pray for myself every day, that God will give me the peace and the security that I need to work with them.
Great. Yeah. And why do you think more people don't take the initiative as you guys have and are still doing that? What do you think society are they too focused on success and not focused on significance? Do you think that's the case, or what do you think that what's happening there? And this is for you both. Yeah. So let me ask you first, Pastor. So what do you think about that?
My father-in-law, when he found out I was planning on going into teaching, he told me that there was so much else I could do that I would be more successful in doing it. But God led me to work with these kids. And that was my ministry as well as my job. And I feel like that, in my mind, was successful because I was able to help kids. So you don't have to be making mega bucks in order to be successful, the way I feel, if you follow the Lord.
Yeah. So what do you think, Michelle?
I think that, people are driving for the consumption lifestyle. We all like stuff. Money is nice because money does help with some problems, but you don't take anything with you, and I think that the reason why people don't help, perhaps, maybe because they don't know what to do. They don't want to get emotionally involved. They don't think, well, maybe I don't have the time. But if people would approach it in a way that maybe you just take the amount of time that you could devote to it. It doesn't cost a lot of time to bring awareness, do a podcast, do something to help someone else. And together, if everybody puts in an hour, puts in $10, puts in whatever, it's done. I mean, really, the social side of it is super easy to do. Now, how do we plug into that? Just getting enough people, And so I think maybe people think they don't have what it takes to do it, or they're not that kind of person. They couldn't handle it. They're not trained. If you can do something, do something. I raised my son on really giving, and I make this point pretty clear. Every year we would do something. We couldn't do a lot. I was a single mom then. I couldn't do a lot to help people, but I wanted him to learn. And so we would go buy a full meal. We'd call the church and say, who needs food? And we would help one person, like one family, and we would bring everything to their house. And he still hasn't forgotten that. So it was, you don't have to do it all. What can you do? Do something.
I love that.
So I think that people miss that piece. Yeah. And I'm an all or nothing girl too, so I totally get why people wouldn't. It's easier to walk away. There's no accountability when you walk away. Pretend like you didn't hear about it, but you know what? God knows. And I think that God puts a fire in the ones that are supposed to help, or yearning, a desire, something to pull you to that, because somebody has to do it. If not us, who?
Yeah.
If not when, I'm like, if not now, when? And so sometimes you can do something. Everybody can do something.
And I think the biggest point that you're making is exactly that. Because I feel like that sometimes. I feel like if it's a big task, and as you said, it's only 1.5 million. But the thing is that, like, if it was myself, I would be like, but I don't have, 1.5 million. But you don't have to give 1.5 million. You can give, as you said, $10, $15, $20, 100 if you can make it. If you can actually afford that, But if you can't afford that, even $5 actually helps.
Yeah, after I graduated from college, I helped a widow build a house on $0. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how. They didn't have GoFundMe then, right? They had something else. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, we got a pastor and his wife, so that anybody who gave the money to the church would get a tax deduction. They would send the money to the hardware store. I didn't want to touch anything because I didn't want anybody to think I was taking anything.
Sure.
So it goes straight from the church into the place. And I had to figure out how to find workers to come build this home for her, because it was my cousin's wife, and he died of cancer, and I promised him I would do it. And so the day of his funeral, everybody's sitting around, and I said, okay, I didn't know what I was doing at all. I said, we're all here. We have 5,000 already. Let's go do something. Why not? And we started the day of his funeral. We framed the whole thing with $5,000. It was wild. And so within 6 months, that house was built. I couldn't believe it myself. And we got donations from my businesses and donations from other people. And people would just give to the church, and whatever money was in there, that's what we used. People volunteered electrical services, plumbing services, whatever. People built things. You had a talent. You found something you liked. You picked it up. Everybody contributed. It was amazing, and it was gorgeous. And she now had a place to live. It was wild. So I knew about this because I've already done that. And it was a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
But the effort, I think, is still the same. It's really the same.
That what you're saying is just like, it makes so much sense. And I wanted to ask you something else related to that. So what do you think true leaders, what separates true leaders from people who have titles? I know you have the title too, but you seem like a great leader as well, because you can actually flog people into good, tasks, that good objectives, like the one that you described. And this one is also one of those. So what do you think separates the true leaders from the people who just have titles,
Yeah. I love the title. I used to love the titles until I realized that comes with a whole lot of responsibility. There's nobody to pass the buck to anymore. So, if something's wrong, it's all my fault. Okay. So you have to learn to take accountability. And that was a little tough at first, but I kind of do like it, because if I know something needs to get done, I'm going to get it done. A good leader to me versus a title is somebody who jumps in with everybody else, somebody who goes and says hello to everybody in the morning. You're not serving me. I am serving you. And together we're a team. I'm not going to steal your glory. I'm not going to steal your fame. I'm not going to say it was all me when it's good and it's all everybody else when it's bad. That's the difference.
Right. Yeah. It's so simple, right? But yes, a lot of people don't get it.
It's all on my head when it's bad, but it's all my team when it's good. And that's exactly how I do it. Yeah.
That is a way. That is a way. So, Pastor, let me ask you something else, Pastor Thomas. What is one big thing that people misunderstand about these vulnerable girls that have been trafficked?
Often I get the impression that they think these girls chose what happened to them, and that's not the case. They were forced into it at a very young age, and they had no way to resist. And of course, the people put them on drugs and things so they could control them, and it was just a really. It wasn't their fault at all.
Yeah, that's such a good thing, because I never thought like that. It didn't cross my mind that they actually chose that life. But I guess I could see that. I could see some people thinking, well, they probably, were doing wrong things, and, that's what, got to them. But no, that's not really the case.
In the street and it's their parents' fault, because they're just letting their kids run wild.
Exactly.
And they weren't watching them. And sometimes they just snatch them from you at a store. I mean, this happens all the time.
Yeah, no, that's true. Actually, a funny story is that when I was little, I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. Somebody actually snatched me. Somebody actually took me. In a store. I mean, you're just saying the thing that actually happened to me. And they got me, and my mom was like, close the store. And they closed the store, and then these people already had me in the bathroom. They had shaving my hair. Like they were gonna they were trying change my clothes. I was out, and it was luckily by the grace of God that didn't happen to me.
My gosh,
gosh. I can relate to what all you guys are saying because of that experience. Thank God that nothing happened to me. But some people, like these girls, are not so lucky.
You were super close.
Oh yeah, I was close, really close.
Which might be the exact reason why you're doing this podcast today.
That's one of the reasons. Yes, that is exactly one of the reasons. And I think, like all of us three, we have reasons to be here and to promote this and try to help other people see what we're seeing, and also at the same time, as you said, Michelle, if they cannot give time, give some money, whatever money you can give, because Pastor Thomas is actually doing the work himself, and he has people doing the work as well. And that's right. So he can actually take care of that. All you have to do is just give a little money. And I'm going to put the links afterwards. I'm going to put the links here. This is going to be, on YouTube anyway. So I'm going to put the links in the description of the video. And I'm going to show them basically how they can, put some money into this great work that you guys are doing,
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
I wanted to kind of finish a little bit here and ask you both, Michelle first. What does legacy mean to you personally?
Well, I was telling my son we had this conversation not long ago, and I said, I need to get a dress for you. I need to do this. I need to do that. And he was like, I said, I need to leave a legacy. And it was my word, it was like a big deal. And he said, Mom, I am your legacy. It blew my mind. And I thought, wow. And so that was like about a year ago. It was a turning point for what I really felt like legacy was. Now it's not so much money. Money can be, but what are the principles? What is the heart? What is the love? What is the problem solver? Who is the problem solver? And really, the name of Jesus, God being in your life, and passing that down is the most important thing. And that's the only legacy that will be remembered in 1,000 years from now.
That's a great answer. Pastor, do you want to answer that too? Like, what's legacy mean to you?
Yes. I had a 50-year-old man call me and tell me that he had some really bad times in his life, but he always remembered what I told him and accepted Jesus as his Savior. He had finally turned his life around, and he was in church teaching Sunday school, and his life was so much better. I'm still ministering to girls and boys who I taught a long time ago. As adults, many have problems. Many we just visit and enjoy conversation over the internet and stuff. But that's the legacy that I think I've left, because I've just touched so many lives and still am touching so many lives that I've done before.
That is great. That is such a great answer. Let me ask you one more question. If somebody that is listening or watching right now is feeling lost or discouraged or without purpose, what would you say to them? You, Pastor, first.
Well, the thing is, we are made in the image of God. We are spiritual beings. God made us so that there's a hole in our life that only He can fill. And that is what I try to let everybody know, that He is the healer. He is the one that can get us all together and bring us to a place where we are safe, we are secure in our being and in our relationship with Him. And He is the only one that can really, truly heal us. And that's what I tell people.
Great. Michelle, do you want to go?
I would love to. It was a great answer. I can't really top that one.
Right.
But I would say, being in dark places and discouraged places and all of those things, I understand that. Feeling alone, I understand that. Sometimes you got to go to God by yourself. And I've had to do that. And I've found some amazing experiences in doing that. Sometimes God sends you someone, and when He does, see them, appreciate them, and hold on. Sometimes he puts a vision in your heart and says, well, you're discouraged, you're going this way, turn around and go this way. Puts something in your mind, just drops it in like a download, and maybe you should go in this way. He will help you if you ask. All you have to do is ask. And sometimes it does take a little time. So don't be discouraged if it takes some time. Reach out to friends, reach out to loved ones, reach out to people in the church if you can, and pray for someone to come your way. And God will send somebody, because He's done it for me, and I know He'll do it for them too.
Yeah.
But God is the answer, and that's the only way that you're going to find your true happiness, your true vision, your true joy. I would actually love for Thomas to tell the story of one of his success stories. I just heard it the
Great.
other day and I was super excited. Can we ask him that?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead. That's such a good story. Yeah, let's go.
Well, we had one girl in the facility that I was working with, but she was so terrible they had to dismiss her. She was just horrible, and she got moved to another facility, and it wasn't too long before she called the director and told her that she had accepted Jesus. She was a new person, and she wanted to thank us so much for what we had done. So you never know when we plant seeds, and sometimes it takes a while to grow.
Such a good story. Such a good story.
That's great.
Yeah.
And now isn't she a social worker now, Pastor?
Well, that's another one, but yes, there are one is a very successful real estate agent, and one is a social worker. That's a couple that I know of.
That is so great.
Amazing.
And there you have it. I mean, like I think we've gone full cycle, in this. We started with people that are broken, and we may think that that's all they are and that's all they will be. Nothing's going to fix them because they're broken, right? But then, when the effort and the work is actually being put in, as you guys are doing, the results come. Sometimes you don't help everybody. You can't help everybody. But if you help one, you save their world. And because you save their world, you're actually saving the world. And I think that's basically the whole point of this, One last question for you guys. At the end of your life, what do you hope people say about the way that you lived? And this is for Pastor first.
Well, I just hope that they say that I loved others.
That's beautiful.
How about you, Michelle?
I like that one too. That I loved, that I had joy, that I wasn't afraid of anything, and that I made their life better.
There you have it. There you have it. I think you are. I think you both are doing exactly that. You have people.
You are too, Lee.
Well, I'm just the moderator here. I'm not, I'm not here taking sides or anything. I'm just, yeah. Thank you for saying that. But I think it's, I want to put you guys on the spotlight, because of all the work that you're doing. I think a lot of people would say, it's easy to say, well, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that. Focus on the things that you do have.
Exactly.
And just give that a little bit. It doesn't have to be everything that you have. Just a little
Even
bit.
if it's a dollar, you can say you invested in something great.
Yes.
$1.
Yes.
You invested in something amazing to change lives and to heal hearts and snatch the kids out of trauma and bring them into love. How amazing is that? That is amazing.
Yeah. And you can see the stories, this, person that became a real estate agent, this other person that became a social worker, and the only thing that I would ask you, Pastor Thomas, would be to keep in touch with more of them so their stories, because I bet you have a great amount of stories there. And I think people will want to hear those stories too. People get excited with those stories, because what we don't want to hear about sometimes is the sad stories,
Right.
Because we feel sad and we don't want to feel sad, but it's like when you see some people overcome this sadness and actually become better and actually teach others how to become better themselves, as you guys are doing, that's how you save the world. That's how you become better, So anyway, that's all I wanted to say to you guys. And I don't know if you any parting words that you may want to say.
We're going to have a fundraiser here at our place. We have we had a large blueberry farm, but now we only have about an acre of blueberries. But we're going to have a fundraiser here and it's all about blueberries. People are going to be able to come in and pick their blueberries. All the refreshments are going to be blueberry related, and we're just going to have a good time on June the 6th from 7 to 1 o'clock.
Great. And then you'll give me the address and all that, all the details, so I can also put them here as a link or whatever, so people can actually go there.
Okay.
Michelle, any parting words?
I really just appreciate you giving the opportunity to explain and to describe this opportunity for us to be good humans and to help someone. So I commend you for taking the time to air something, that isn't on the street every day. So I appreciate you and appreciate your heart to do this. And I just wanted to say thank you for that, because you're a part of it also. Your time is valuable and your time was given to this mission. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me stop the recording then. And by the way, I'll put the links here for you guys to put some money down. Put some money down and this great work these people are doing. And then we're gonna share more stories as well.
Cool.
Anyway,
cool.
That was all from us for my podcast. I'm actually speechless right now, but anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And thank you so much. We will see you the next one.